Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
All right. Hey, guys. Welcome back to our show. I'm your host, John Harcar, and I'm here today with Glenn Yaney. And what we're going to talk a little bit about is his journey in real estate, but also getting to financial freedom, what it meant for him and how you can maybe get there too. Guys, remember at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, all entrepreneurs, 2 to 5x their business by providing tools and resources that really allow them to, build that business they want to build and live the life they've dreamed of. So Glenn, welcome to our show.
Thanks for having me on, John.
Yeah, no, I'm appreciate your time coming here. I'm excited to talk about, your journey, but also the financial freedom part. We're all trying to reach it. But before we kind of get into all that, why don't you kind of fill our audience in about your background, your real estate journey and kind of what got you here?
Yeah, so I will tell you that I started working at Red Lobster, and it was the endless shrimp that pretty much almost threw Red Lobster into bankruptcy. Mm-hmm. And it was, for me, it was the thing that made me want to do something different.
There we go. Okay.
It's hard to fill up on endless shrimp, that's the business flaw, so
that's true.
It'll keep you running around the restaurant and really not making any money. So yeah, so I got into, got my real estate license like I thought I should to be an investor. And within 6 months, it was in 2012, I was trying to show new home buyers houses. And what ended up happening is they couldn't even put an offer in because there were so many institutional buyers coming in and putting contracts down on houses, like cash offers and you're competing with like FHA buyers. So the cash offer generally always wins. And so it turned into more of a rental agent, nobody, and there's other agents around me that were doing better than, successfully. And so they were handing me all their rental customers. So I became a rental agent, and I found the company I worked for, 10 years after that. They recruited me as American Homes for Rent. They have 55,000 houses, and I started really when they were working on getting their first 1,000 leases for the company. And it was, it was a startup at the time. So I pretty much left my Red Lobster job, making $1,500 a month at Red Lobster. And my first month working there at American Homes for Rent, I made $15,000, which was
incredible. 10X, baby.
It was hard to believe. Yeah. I couldn't even understand, is this really happening? I literally thought it was always going to end. For 6 months after that, I was living with my parents still and socking away all the money, I
love it.
And I had this mentality even up to the day before I left is I worked as if I saved as if I worked at Red Lobster, and I just put the money away. And and I always thought the other shoe was going to drop, lose my job. And I always thought that this is not going to last forever. And it lasted 10 years.
That's so awesome.
Really on my terms. So thankfully it was, Yeah.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
But yeah, so I got into that and then started putting money away. I started finding mentors in real estate. I had a mentor that had about 600 units at the time.
Wow.
That he was applying for one of our houses for his I guess ex-wife, and trying to get her in to the place, and ended up seeing his bank statements, and I've never seen income that high before renting a house. And
Wow.
so I just asked him what he did, and he said he bought mobile home parks. And I thought, when I first met him, I was like, so you live in mobile home parks, or like, how do you get there? So I on my days off, I would ride around with this guy. Like on my days off would be like a Tuesday, and I would go get in his car and we would ride around looking at mobile home parks. And he like ramped up. I was like in the middle of his, some of us see people when they first start, some of us see after they finish. I was like right in the middle where he was like still broke but putting money away, and he had like
Best time to learn, man.
Yeah. So he had about 1,000 units within a short period of time, and I just watched him grow that. And he ended up seller financing me my first 2 parks, mobile home parks. So I bought a 3-unit and a 9-unit, and that was what pretty much made me financially independent. It covered my expenses, about $5,000 a month at the time. And I had some rental properties like condos and single family home, a lot of equity tied up. And then I saw what mobile home parks did, so I realized that I needed to unwind that. So I started selling those off, and it was funny. Once I became financially independent and I had $100,000 in my bank account, I quickly was like, I don't need to work anymore. I don't need to work at this W-2 job anymore. Let me focus on this real estate thing. And my risk tolerance changed overnight because of cash flow.
Sure.
It was like, you have enough expenses. Your W-2 no longer has to pay those expenses. And it became where I could just take bigger swings. And that's what I started doing.
That's awesome. Okay, so let's go back, right? I like to always start at the beginning. You're working at Red Lobster. Okay, you said, I think you said you got your real estate license because you thought that was the right thing to do. Like, what guided you to real estate? I mean, and where did did you have any idea about investing, or is it just how everybody thinks like real estate is a real estate agent?
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of people get wrong. I would say that maybe being a real estate agent isn't how you become financially independent. It's just a job. Mm-hmm. It's really how you divert your dollars once you make them. So like, you can learn all you want about real estate without being a real estate agent. And it's probably, you can make more money doing other things is what, it just happened to be the thing that I learned how to do. And 27 years old, didn't know any better. And I just said, let me go get it. Let me go be a real estate agent.
Why was it important for you when you saw this guy and you saw his income, right? Why was it important for you to go an extra step, right? Don't just seek him out to talk to him, but spend that time with him, be around him. Why was that so important to you in your journey?
Yeah, so I was obsessed with financial independence. I mean, I think I was, when I left Red Lobster, I was already on that mode. Mm-hmm. And when I saw him, he was actually one of the only people I've ever seen living off of real estate. You could hear about it on podcasts, but it's like, once you find that person, it's like how do I get there? And I was talking to somebody right before this podcast, sometimes criticism is pretty tough. Like people might be harsh.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
It's like, but you have to see through the criticism to see what they're trying to tell you. So like sometimes these people that I look up to might be harsh because they're trying to communicate to me what they're trying to say, but they just have their way of saying it.
Right.
And if I would have had this wall of criticism or I mean, not criticism, like where I'm just, my feelings are getting hurt, or, you know, I have to be able to accept this information as it is, and then trying to figure out how to get there is really what's made me successful. It's because I've had people screaming at me about problems, and then instead of realizing it's personal, it's like, what is the problem and how do I fix this? And then that's what property management has taught me is like, if you're getting yelled at by a tenant, it's like, they're not mad at you, they're mad at the situation. How do you fix the situation? And that's kind of like the same thing with mentors. Mentors might have their own way of relaying the message, but it's like, how do you get to what they're saying, you know, the right information?
Besides, you know, the mentor, like what other mindset pieces or what other things did you have to work on as you started growing, et cetera, to where you are today?
Yeah. So conventional knowledge has been, you know, if you want to be in the 1%, you have to not do what the 99% of the people are doing. So that's the big problem. And a lot of the 99% of the information that's given you to be financially independent is like, put your money in a 401k, you know, do these things that are, you know, maybe pay down certain types of debt. And it's like, you don't have any debt, you know, stuff like that. And it's like, I actually think that there's other ways to go about it, and it's to become more liquid, be able to take, here's one thing that I've always thought is that they always say you take more risk when you're younger, so you don't have to take as many when you're older. But what has happened for me is that you go less riskier, more liquid, to be able to take the bigger swings when you're older. Like, because now I would say my risk level to somebody with no money in their bank account would be very risky. You know, I don't like, you know, if you don't have any money or any income coming from anywhere else, it might be a riskier venture if you decide to leave your W-2. You know?
Right. Got a lot more to lose, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
So what were some of the challenges of getting to your level of, you know, what was it, 650 doors? So what were the challenges of getting up to that type of level, and then, you know, the challenges of maintaining it?
Yeah, so this just another example of like meeting somebody further along than me. He had about 2,000 units, I believe, when I met him, another mentor. And a mentor that I met only one time. So but it was the information that changed my way of thinking. Sure. And he said, when you get to 200 units, you'll have different problems than when you have 500 units. And when you get to 1,000 to 2,000, he's like, they'll all be different. And he's like, and you'll never be able to continuously operate the same way you did when you had 10 units to 20 to 200. And, so the one thing we found with mobile home parks is that when you're small, like having park-owned homes is okay. You know, you have like park-owned homes, you make more cash flow, but then it turns into there's less leverage because you have all these maintenance issues that happen. Right. And when you're able to offset the mobile homes, you actually are able to grow way faster and remove the liability of the mobile home itself. And that was one big hurdle, because what we found is that we were we had 400 mobile home park-owned homes is what they're called. And then and being in Florida, insurance is an issue with that. You know, they don't want to, banks aren't going to be excited about financing the income from a mobile home.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Right.
They want to see the revenue coming from the lot rent. So once we got out from revenue from the park-owned home, the revenue from the lot rent actually drove the values of the mobile homes up, and our operations became easier to operate at.
Okay.
And that was the big learning curve with that, because you have 400 units, you're thinking we're going to cut our revenue down to get bigger, and it's actually just remove the liabilities is what we were doing. The liability was the maintenance cost, the roofs, all the stuff that goes with it, big CapEx projects going into mobile homes.
So did you just rent these seller finance these units to the people, or how did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we do it's called rent to own.
Right.
If you do a seller finance or interest cost on the sale, it turns into where you have lending regulations to go with. But if you have like a rent to own, it's just a straight 0% interest really loan to the resident.
Okay, and then they are responsible for all the maintenance, all the everything like that. That's awesome.
Yep, we fix them up nicely. We make them nice. We don't just let people move into bad units, so we make the communities nice and make it to where families want to move into them.
So where are you looking to take your business? How many you got? 650. How many doors are you looking at?
Yeah, so this year so what happened between 2023 and 2025 was we started the end of the year at 2023 at 350 units, and we finished the year at 650. So we gained 300 units last year.
Wow.
And it got to a point where we just looked at it and said, we buy heavy value add properties. So it turned into, if we just focus on our portfolio, we will actually make more money than to buy more real estate. So, and focusing on the efficiencies, the operations of the office, and making sure that vacancy time is not, you're not spreading your construction crew thin.
Right.
To where when you do that, when you spread your construction crew thin, they become more and more expensive. They just charge you more. You need them more. It's like when you slow down and say, okay, well now we're setting the prices. It's like you actually have pricing control on the construction. So because of that, we figured we have about $100,000 of monthly lost rent at this time, which is equivalent to probably a $8 to $10 million piece of real estate. So we look at that and said, okay, we don't have to buy $8 to $10 million worth of real estate this year. We just have to stabilize it. Yeah, improve, fix them up, get them going, and thankfully we're getting through it, fixing the delinquency issues and stuff like that, because when you're so busy, you don't have any time to really hone in on the good skills that you need to focus on to become a good operator. But if you're just trying to be 650, let's get to 1200 next year, and it's like, well, how does the 650 run if you're trying to get to 1200?
Is
so
it
let's
quantity
just
or quality? Which one?
Exactly.
Forever question. Okay, that's awesome. So what do you think in your journey of then we'll talk about our financial freedom here in a second, but what do you think the biggest keys to your success have been?
Biggest keys, I think, has a lot to do, and it's underestimated, is savings rate. So I'm not any different than anybody else that's working at a normal W-2 job. There was people that were making just as much as me, but buying bigger houses, buying nicer cars. I think there's a time for that, but it's not when you're growing. Like when you're growing, you stay lean, You have, that way you can pivot when you need to. And at the time, it was very dumb of me to leave my W-2. I was making $150,000 to $200,000 a year, and I was leaving to make $1,500 a month to manage a property management office. So terrible financial, but what I saw is a bigger picture. How do I attract more investors? How do I, so is it making, just because my expenses were low, I was able to pivot to go do, raise investor capital, be able to live lean, to focus on the properties, to increase the revenues, to make more money, stuff like that.
Yeah, fantastic. And let's talk about this financial freedom. What is financial freedom to you?
Yeah, so financial freedom, it's definitely changed. I used to think, it was just enough to pay your bills. And now I'm getting to a point where I have enough that pays my bills and probably double that. But at the same time, it's more of a time freedom. It's focusing on, I have my own podcast as well. I have my office that manages the properties. Could I make more money managing my properties? Could I go out and answer the phone, deal with the maintenance calls? Yes, I could. I could cut the salaries and then become that guy that works in the business. But I've learned that the way to really grow is to really focus on, growing the business and like giving myself back all my time,
Right.
And
Yeah, that's to one of the biggest things, money or time.
Yeah.
How did you quantify outside of because I don't think that someone saying, "Hey, all my bills are covered," is really a financial freedom, because all your bills are covered, and you got money to do anything else. So like, how did you quantify it? Say, "Hey, I need XYZ over what my bills are to know that, hey, I'm okay."
I mean, to be honest, I don't know if that goes away. I think that there's, I feel like I could always, yeah, I always right. I would say my bills are, about $8,000 a month is what it costs. And I, make about $20,000 a month, but I would say that there's still things that keep me up at night.
Sure.
It's like when there's the operationally, $100,000 of lost rent. Like, these are things that I think, like, if you watch a podcast with Elon Musk, there's things that keep him up at night. And it's crazy. Like, you see him on Joe Rogan and his mind is just like going on a whole different level. It's like, that still happens. I'm not saying I'm at his level, of course, but at the same time, it's like, how do I get that a little quieter is what my goal is.
Yeah.
And to have less problems on my plate, to make them to where the things are being taken care of. And I don't know what the number is, but I would say that I think growing is the most fulfilling thing. So when they say like retirement, that's like, in a lot of people's minds, that's financial freedom. But retirement is, it's like, then you're wondering what's next. It's like, what is next after this? It's like, there's always going to be something to be handled. And that's why I try not to have too much of a goal of like, I have financial goals, but I don't have like a utopia goal. I'm not going to be happier here. I'm just the only time to be happy is in the present. And that's what I've been really trying to focus on.
That's awesome. If someone wanted to get into the game, what type of advice would you give them? Like, what was the main, driving factor for you, or what resources would you say, hey, check this out?
It's a good question. I think I'm impressed. I do them once in a while, but I go to the RIAs, how these guys are they're like young, and some of them are making $1 million a year, more than me. And I'm like watching them and I'm like, man, they are killing it. And I was like, so I would say that hang around the people that are doing it is the main thing. And RIAs, real estate investment groups and stuff like that, those are the places to really
Masterminds.
Find out where these people are, how they're doing it.
Yeah. That's a big thing, and it's being in proximity of folks that have done what you want to do, or what you're doing, and are doing what you want to do. That's awesome. If anybody's listening to and I appreciate all the knowledge you dropped, man. That's pretty cool. if people want to get in touch with you, maybe talk about some investments, maybe talk about, hey, how do I get into mobile home parks? What's the best way for them to be able to reach out to you?
Two places that I'm always at. I have a podcast called the Millionaire Journey Podcast, and we pretty much have a similar conversation that me and John are having. And also, I'm on LinkedIn regularly. So if you go to LinkedIn, it's Glenn Yaney, and I'll answer pretty much. As long as you're not AI, I'll probably respond to you.
Or a bot.
Or a bot. Yeah, exactly.
I'll respond. Well, cool. And we'll take all this information. We'll put it on the show notes. So, Glenn, thank you so much, man, for coming here, dropping some good knowledge, guys. I hope you took notes. If you have any questions for Glenn or something you want to talk about, please reach out to him. And I'll see you guys all on the next show. Cheers.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.